All right, guys, we are back. So we are going to do the same thing again, but this time I'll be teaching and she'll be receiving. So we will start by grabbing her ankles, giving her hips and back and everything a nice little stretch. You don't even have to pull too hard, just kind of, and then what's nice too is if you want a little stretch too, you can kind of pull like that. How's that feel? And then at the same time, I'm also hitting her feet just a little bit. Alrighty. So get that nice and open. And like she said, you can always come up and do more work up the legs, but we'll start here first. All right. So you started by doing palms. That's great. You can do that. Or if you want to, you can use your feet. Just be careful. So the way I do this is I come in and I have my heel on the ground and then I'm just pushing the pedal just a little bit. This is going to be hitting more of the inside of her arm though. So if you're wanting to hit more of the outside, we'll have to come around and hit it a little bit different. And then if you're wanting to add another element to it, you can kind of come down and just very gently hit the forearms. So I'm just compressing here, but not too deep. But then I'm coming in and hitting her forearms and a little bit of her pecs, just opening this up.
It feels like a kitty making biscuits.
Yeah. All of these muscles are so tight from the day's work, the day's grind, the daily grind. Oh, that hit on me. That's gross. I don't care. Alrighty. And if this position is just not comfortable for you, come down. And if you want to use your foot, but I just wouldn't. At this point, I'd just use my hands because it's a little more comfortable and it's easier for you to receive, I'm sure.
Sure.
Sure. You couldn't tell a difference?
No, I could tell a difference.
Okay. Was the foot a little more intense?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm being very vague today.
Yes, you are. I was like, great. That's great feedback. Thank you. Wonderful. That's okay. Alrighty. So then while you're doing that, am I going too fast?
No, you're doing great.
Okay.
Go up there if you need to time yourself.
Oh, yeah. So right here, I'm just kind of hitting the back side, her hips, her glutes. What else is in the back? Do we have anatomy for that? Glutes? No. Nope. Oh, yeah. It's all right there. Sorry. Pecs and traps. All right. So I'm just kind of opening that up a little bit, moving it around. At the same time, you can kind of work on her hand. So before I go directly into her quads, I'm just going to get a feel for what we're dealing with. And that, to me, is very tight. So I'm just going to make sure whenever I move her, I'm not too quick about moving her around too hard. And I'm not going to put my foot into her muscles too deep either. All right. So I'm just going to bring it out in that way. And then you can do this. And then right here, I'm just going to be hitting the top part of her quads. And then we do have the quads. If you wouldn't mind showing that anatomy, please. So right here, I'm hitting up in the vastus lateralis and the rectus femoris, all of those nice, good quad muscles. I believe this is a tensor fasciae latator, though, right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the TFL. It's kind of where I start. Is that too deep?
No, it's wonderful.
Okay. So you were using more of the side of your foot. I'm using the ball of my foot in this position. And is that other foot on the bottom too much, too sharp?
Great.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So this is a nice little compression. I'm not really doing too much rocking in this situation because I feel it's just so tight.
I was running around at a wedding.
Haha, there you go.
Bridesmaid duties.
Woo, fun.
So very happy we're doing this today.
Yes, you definitely need this after standing all day.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So now I've switched back over to where I'm using the whole arch of my foot. So it's kind of more curved and it feels a little more, not as intense.
More broad?
Yes, broad. Thank you. That's the word we use. Thank you.
It's amazing.
And I know I already hit the top part, but I found something really tight down here, so I'm kind of loosening that back up, and then I'll sway back down and just kind of pull and push and move that direction. Does that make sense? Yeah. I get a nice sigh, so I think I'm doing something correct. So I'm just very gently, slowly going a little deeper, seeing what I can do before we go too much. And then I'm going to actually kind of curl around to where it's more on top. And then back again to where it's more on the lateral side of her leg. Ooh, yeah. And this is a really good compression to have done if you've been sitting all day, because just the quads are all lengthened all day long. But this is also good for that hamstring on the bottom to kind of get a little bit of attention as well. And go all the way down towards the knee. Just be careful when you do get closer to the knee, and like try not to put the bottom foot like up in all of that, because that can get
pinchy.
Yes, there's lots of nerves running behind there, not a lot of stuff to protect them. So just be mindful of that.
Oh, that's gold.
Yeah. And again, if you're wanting to focus on this, that's great. But if you're also wanting to do a little extra, your partner will appreciate every little bit of touch that you give. So, okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and have you roll over onto your side. Wait, which one?
You want to do the other side?
Oh, yeah, duh. God, I'm all over the place today.
Okay.
All right. Wait.
Oh, wait.
Yes, okay. So
Now, there is nothing wrong with if she were to put me on the side, but sometimes the body might, like that side might be like, oh, wait. It'll maybe tighten because it's not been touched.
Yeah.
So it's the way the body works.
Sometimes if I do that, I will come back and do the whole sequence on the other side.
Yeah.
So if you forget,
do that.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, if you forget.
I'm very ADD, but
most of
my
us
clients don't understand. They're like, oh, it just feels so good. I don't know. I didn't even notice. I'm like, thank God. Yeah, so I'm just coming back in and really compressing the forearms. I can feel they're just so tight. They've been worked, overworked, probably.
We set up the whole wedding.
Oh, yeah.
All
and took it all down. Oh, my goodness. A little bit of pec. You want to show me the pec anatomy, please? Thank you. So I'm just in her pec insertion over here around the shoulder blade, or yeah, in the shoulder. Yeah. You can work your way towards the sternum if their pecs seem really, really tight, and hers do. If we had a lot more time, I would definitely pay a lot more attention to her pecs, because it feels like she needs some desperate attention on those. Okay. Very nice. A little bit of hand. A little bit of hand. Press. There we go. All right. And then we'll come down and do a little bit of pressing on your legs. And like she was mentioning about the hip and the bony structure, I can feel it right here. So I wouldn't go above that because that's going to be hitting more in the abdominal area. And I just wouldn't mess with that on this situation and what you're doing here. So I'm just kind of coming in and using the ball of my foot to loosen up, and I'm also at the same time assessing what all is going on in here. Wait. Oof. Yep, that's going to be nice and tight. You take your time. Just feel around. Try not to be too sharp on your partner because they will just jump and that won't help the situation at all. All right, and then I'm going to bring this up. Oh, sorry, I didn't move your hand. I moved it in the way instead of out of the way. All right. So now again, I'm hitting the right tensor fascia lata up in here. Hip flexors a little bit too as well. If I were to come further over onto the front, I would be hitting more of her psoas, which is also something that we could address, but probably not today. Definitely not today. And then I'm just making my way down her quads. And again, we have the vastus lateralis, which is going to be on your lateral side, and the rectus femoris, and I don't remember the other two. Semiminosis and semiminosis? I don't know. I think that's them. There we go. Right there on the screen. All right. Oof. How's that there on the knee? All right. Good, good. I can feel the beginning of her bony structures of her knee, so I'm just going to kind of avoid going too far that direction. You'll definitely want to address the knees, but in this position, I just wouldn't. Do it in a different position. Oh, right there, nice and tight. Yeah. If you find a nice gnarly spot, just hang out on it for a minute. Or ask your partner what they like. Or just listen to them. That also helps too. It gives away a lot. How's that bottom foot? Is it too sharp?
No, we're doing good.
Okie doke. Yes. Slowly coming out of that deep compression. Come back into another one. Very slowly in, holding it. And you can kind of move back and forth in different directions, but I wouldn't go too much in any direction. Oof. Until you come out. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just going to do another pass down just to see if I know it hasn't been a lot of time, but at least a little bit looser, making some progress. If you spent like maybe another 30 minutes, it would be really nice and loose. So if you all want to stay in that, go ahead. Okay. All right, now I'm going to bring that there, and then I will have you, oh yeah, you have the hand opening. God.
Okay.
Well, because you added this
stuff you don't normally do.
Yeah.
Okay. Because
I usually just go. And then so for this, I'm not going to be pushing it down too hard and not flexing it back too hard, just kind of what she can do. And you'll feel what they're able to receive because they will push back a little. And then I come in and compress around. And I like to come and compress in between all those bones, all the hand bones,
keyboard warrior hands.
Yes, yes.
Typing away at work.
Mm-hmm. Give them a little bit of a stretch and a pull, pin stretch. That's the word. But not too much. How's that?
Nice.
Good. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's nice and tight. Do a little bit of both directions, just opening those up, getting them ready for one last day of the week. And then you have the weekend. All right.
You're going back over here. Hey-o.
Yeah, because
Into it.
I missed that one, remember?
I know.
So
It happens sometimes. with these jams. My hand appreciates it though.
I'm sure it does. Oh. It's a little compressing around. And a little stretch back. And I like to have my other hand underneath this one just to make it feel like it's supported. And that I'm not going to try to push it further than it wants to. It has its range of motion. Just opening it up and getting it to move a little bit better than it was before we started. Oh yeah. Other direction. Nice little stretch between all of your carpals. That's what they are. Hand bones. Alrighty. So now we will have you roll to your side.
All right.
So I'll have her roll, and then I'm going to take the pillow and then give her another type of pillow and her little bolster. I'll straighten the lower leg and then bring this top leg over so she's nice and comfortable. And then I'm going to actually move this so I can... There we go. All right, and then I come right down in here, and I snuggle right up next to her so she feels nice and supported. And I come in and grab a hold of her shoulder and her trap. I have a little bit of all of her pec, her trap, the levator scap, a little bit of her, all of the shoulder stuff, delts. So I just kind of open up all of that. There we go. A little stretch, a little lengthen. How is that after a long day of work?
That's great. I love how I feel it in my neck, my pec, my low back, my hip. Such a nice move to hit multiple areas at once.
Exactly. Nice little twist.
That's opening.
Mm-hmm. You've been collapsed forward all day on your computer or on your phone or whatever, and now this is opening that up. Relieving some of that tension. So this hand is actually like on that pec insertion right before you get to the anterior delts, but it's clasping over onto that anterior delt to give a little bit more stretch and support through that shoulder so it doesn't feel like I'm ripping it off. And then you did the neck from here, correct? A little bit of stretch in here. All right. And then we're going to come up and put a knee into her trap. I like to kind of get an idea of what we'll be dealing with first. So I'm like, okay, so it's really nice and tight in here. I've got really bony knees, so I have to be very careful with where I'm putting what. So as you can see, this is like super broad compared to that. So I'm going to come in right there, and then I will have you tell me if it's too much or when. Right in there, I can kind of, is that about where you want it? Okay. Do you want me to go deeper? Can you handle deeper?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go in just a little deeper. Watch her face, make sure you don't go too much, and then I'm going to rock a little. Do you prefer rocking or do you prefer static?
I like the rocking.
Okay. So check in with your partner and see what they like. Some of them like it static, some of them like it rocking, and it also depends on the day. Sometimes it's different. It depends on what your body can handle that day. But I feel like the rocking kind of eases the mind to make it think it's not hurting it as much. I don't know.
If you have any friends or family that play poker, this is a great move to help them with their poker shoulders.
Yeah.
But really good for all of us sitting at desks all day.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so I just moved up just a hair because I could feel that part that I was on starting to release. So now it's heading more towards that acromion process. the shoulder bone. That thing.
Right there.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely.
Ugh. I don't think rocking would help with this one, would it? Mm-mm. It's almost too tight for me to do rocking on it. Ah, there we go. And I'm going to come back down and just kind of compress her delts, compress her traps and biceps, her arms, forearms, all that. That's so nice. There. Okay. I'm going to come back around and just do another little stretch and just see where her neck is at.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Tight like a tiger.
Tight like a tiger. So I'm going to come back in, have my hand up here. It's on the pec, part of her pec, part of her anterior delt, just kind of holding up onto that shoulder. And then I'm going to bring it back just a hair, and I'm feeling her neck muscles, her SCM, the anterior scalenes, all of those fun muscles, all the way up into the occipital area. And then I'm just going to hang tight there for a second, and then do a little bit of mobility in her shoulder to see if it will help release her neck some. Oof, right there, I can just feel a lot of tightness. Oof. Sorry, I'm breathing for you.
I need to breathe.
Yes. There you go. There you go. And then I just kind of come back in and gently massage that area just to play nice. Then I come and see if there's any more we can hit. Right there. Yep. There we go. And gently come out of that. And then we will switch you over to the other side. Correct?
Correct.
Correct. I've obviously done this a million times, right?
Oh, this is gold.
Awesome. Okie dokie. So again, we're making sure that her pillow bolster is up far enough to where if I come in and need to do anything, it's not going to be in my way, but is also comfortable for her. And I'm snuggled up here using my body up against hers to support everything. Yep, all the way down. And then I just come in and start opening up the shoulder. This side doesn't seem as angry as the other side, so that's good. I don't know, I could be wrong. Oof, there we go. So this is a nice move. It just opens up the pecs and just kind of lengthens those muscles that have been curled over and shortened all day. And you can even come in and use your palm just to feel around her traps and as you're doing a little bit of movement. I find that the body responds better to movement whenever I'm doing this instead of just like compression all the time. It breaks up all of the deep compression tissue. Oof, right here in her rhomboid. It's nice and tight. So I'm hitting between her spine and her scap here. That is the rhomboid. I'm just going to feel around, bring in my hand, kind of cusping it, pulling that scap up on top of it. She has a lot of tension, so I'm not able to get up and underneath there, quite like she was for mine. Lots of tightness there. There's lots of things you can do in this position, hitting lots of different muscles that we all need work on. But since we're working on the pecs, we'll open this up again a little bit. Oof. I'm going to come up to her traps. And I try to make sure that I'm not going to step on her hair. Oops, let's just flop it in her face, though. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah, I just like to always be aware of like her jewelry, her hair, everything else. I don't want to crush anything into her skin or step on anything, pull anything.
Aw,
be mindful of what you're doing. I try to anyway.
Wow. Boulder on my shoulder.
Yes, yes it is. So again, using this part of my knee. I know it's bony, but boy, is it effective.
All good.
And then I gotta soften it up just a little bit by coming in this direction instead of the other direction. And that is really tight.
Yeah.
Rocking or static?
Rocking.
Okay.
I love rocking.
I do too.
But sometimes if I'm super duper 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 tight,
it hurts.
Yeah, I have to have some static before I can have rocking. I mean, I'm very tight today, but
yes, you are.
I can handle this. Great.
All right. We'll be going over on time just a hair today, but that's okay. Lots of good things.
Would be the full.
Yeah.
With our bathroom break.
Oh, okay, cool. So we're doing
so
right.
Perfect.
You're right. I feel like I was rushing that. I'm like, ah.
You've done great.
So I'm hitting the delts here, just lengthening those open. This is more of the medial deltoid, correct? Yeah. None. You have your posterior and your anterior. Let's get a little bit of all of that. Traps, bicep, all of these muscles in here. At the same time that I'm still up here in her trap. So, man, how many things am I hitting just by doing this and not just using my hands, right? That's what I love about this work. It almost distracts you from the pain. There we go. All right. And then I'm going to come back down and around. Got her shoulder. I'm just going to open up and do a couple more passes to see what's available. What progress have we made? Of course, the longer you do this, the more progress you'll have. But a little goes a long way. So come in here to her neck again. Find a nice little spot and hang out. And then I will be opening up her pecs while pinning and stretching her neck. Pinning and stretching the SCM that's been hunched over all day long. At the same time, I'm doing a little bit of movement down here too, just to kind of sort of distract her from anything that might be too intense. And then I come out and do one more up and into the occipital a little bit further up. And behind the ear, where we have a lot of tension built. Just kind of rock you a little bit. Thanks for playing today. All right. And then, oh, we have 1 minute.
Perfect.
Yes.
I realized as I was laying here, I didn't even introduce us.
Oh yes, Kristen Lumsden and Andrea Moore.
Yeah, we're really happy you guys tuned in today for our couples.
Yes.
Couples bodywork trade, computer desk focus, relieving all that tension.
Yeah.
I just jumped right into it. And I was like, I didn't even introduce us.
All right, and that does it for today. Is there anything else we need to mention?
If you guys have anything that, you know, after today's where we focused on working with your partner, your friend, the couples massage from people that work at computer desks, if you have any ideas of things you're interested in, drop us a little comment. We'd love to hear what you think or what you're interested in learning. I guess that's all from us.
Yeah.
We'll see you in probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to be working around the holidays, so stay tuned for us posting about when our next time will be. Offhand, I don't know exactly, but we will be working around the holidays, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Yes.
Again, the point of this is so we can work together. So please tune in with us, but no worries if you forget or you're busy at the time that we start. Please feel free to watch them later. At Robert Gardner Wellness, you will see the playlist Tie Jam, and you can see all of our old or past jams we've had together. Yes. But we can't wait to see you guys again. Have a great evening. Happy Halloween.
Yes. Happy Halloween. Thank you.